name is Lebogang Dube, and this is Things I Wish I Knew. We all have those things that we wish we would have known when we were teenagers, but I am giving you an opportunity to learn as a teenager, so you better listen up carefully. If it is your first time on my channel, please do subscribe so that you are up to date with every single thing that we are doing. Today's guest is someone that I know from my UJ days. If you do follow me on TikTok, you will know that I first started at UJ. I've got a lot of short history at UJ, and I met some incredible people while I was there. And I met this lovely young lady. We are the same age.
You're a year older, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think I'm a year older. We're going to confirm that.
We'll confirm.
Yeah, we'll definitely confirm that. So our guest today is Malebo, and she is a somatologist. Yes, so I said it correctly.
Yes, it is
okay.
somatologist.
Yes, so she's a somatologist, and I just wanted to say a couple of things that I know about her and how I know her. So we were in the house comm together.
Yes.
We lived at Reyes together at UJ for 2 years because I was there 2009 and 2010. Lebo went on to study. She carried on with UJ, but we're going to go into that.
100%.
So have I said everything? Is there anything I've missed out on?
No, you are on point. You are accurate. I have been with UJ, or was with UJ, for a long time, longer than I would have preferred.
Okay.
But in terms of studying, yes, I did study with UJ. Started first year all the way up until I did my master's. Then I took a pause, because you can't just be studying. At some point, you have to get the work in,
Yes.
so that it balances out with the qualification as well.
Oh, most definitely. So for someone, but before we go further,
Yeah.
I think it's good for you to also just introduce yourself a bit. Gore Lebo ke mang?
All right. Malebo is a somatologist by profession. I love naturopathy and holistic wellness. So
Ooh.
that is my true calling.
Big words.
Yes, that is my true calling. Otherwise, I work as a skincare trainer.
Okay.
So a trainer in the skincare profession for a local skincare brand. And on the side, I am trying to push my wellness passions as well.
Yes.
So we'll see how all of that comes together. It's coming along nicely. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now.
Malebo somatology. You know, when I got out of high school, all I knew was engineering. All I knew was teaching. All I knew was nursing. How do you find out about a career like somatology?
So before I got or decided that I'm going to do somatology, I was interested in beauty therapy.
Oh, okay.
More so reflexology in particular. But my father was very against me going to a small private institution. He wanted me to have a university experience.
Oh, okay.
So one of my friends was like, listen, there's an institution, UJ, that is offering somatology. I had no idea what it was until my friend told me. And I was like,
Yes.
we've been to career days and so forth, but I didn't know that this thing was called somatology.
No one's brought up.
Nobody's brought
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a big word, somatology.
Somatology.
It sounds weird. When you tell people I'm a somatologist, they're like, wait a minute, what soma what?
Yes.
And then now you need to explain. And once I understood, or actually once I saw what subjects were covered
Yes.
in the course, then I was like, this is what it is that I want to do.
And now, what is somatology?
Okay, so somatology is basically, if you're looking at the word and you break it down, soma refers to the cell, ology refers to the study. So you're
Okay.
studying the human cell.
Okay.
But in this instance, if I could put it in a nutshell, it's the science of beauty therapy. So that encompasses looking at treating your patient, looking at them holistically, where you're looking at treating mind, body, and soul. So even if you look at what the course covers, you would look at doing a bit of psychology, because you do become a
Yes.
person psychologist when
Okay.
you're in close contact with them, for example. You looking at physics and chemistry, subjects that I didn't study, for example.
Okay.
But now there it was, varsity, and I had to understand what was going on. You're looking at your modality, so the treatments that you actually do on people. Now, when you're looking at treatments that can be done on people, right now there's a lot is being discovered every day. But in terms of the scope of somatology, you're looking at somebody who, for example, would be in a spa setup
Yes.
where you would have your spa therapist. Then you have those that will go into medical aesthetics, for example.
Okay.
You also have those that would look at just doing completely naturopathic things, so things like meditation, things like Reiki, acupressure, acupuncture. So it's all, I don't want to say all encompassing, but it is really a course that can help you address all the different concerns that a person can present you with without actually being a medical doctor. You're 5'2", but not quite.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
somewhere there. Somewhere there. Okay, so now that we know what somatology is,
Yes.
let's talk about your academic history that then gets you to you having a master's, you know? Also, maybe just mention some of the subjects that you did in high school as well.
High school. When I was in high school, I did the compulsory subjects
Yes.
that we had to do. I went to a German school.
Oh,
So you had to learn German as well.
How?
So, yes.
Level German.
Yeah, ich spreche Deutsch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I'm brushing it up now, but it was something that never in my wildest dreams that I think that I would be learning a European language, but there I was, and I actually did quite well. I almost got a distinction, which is crazy because my German mark was higher than my Afrikaans mark. I don't know how.
But
Yet
aren't they similar?
they are similar, but at the same time they're very different.
Yeah,
The
okay.
sentence structure can be quite similar, but German goes
It goes deeper.
yeah,
it goes deeper.
and it can be quite hectic. And it's tricky in that in South Africa we don't speak German.
We
so where are you
don't.
going to practice it? That's
Okay.
the thing. But it's a skill that I could use should I decide, I'm going to go out of the country and come back. I'll be sorted.
Oh, most
I'll be sorted,
definitely.
yes.
You can never go wrong with an extra language.
You can never go wrong
Yeah.
with an extra language. I think it really does help to keep your brain soft and malleable as well.
Yes.
Learning a language will do that to you. But in terms of subjects that I did when I was in high school, I did geography, which was an extra subject.
Okay.
Extra subject in that it wasn't the core subjects that you
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
do. So I did geography, I did history, I did biology. Those were my 3 extras. We then also had German, English, Afrikaans. We had life sciences and life orientation. And you were not allowed to do a different tier of maths. It was just pure maths. No option.
Yeah. No, wait. When did you matriculate?
2008.
Oh, but then again.
The school
Okay.
said,
Yeah.
we do
yeah.
not offer maths lit. I was like, okay,
Okay.
maths lit, there's no maths lit. Okay, it's fine, I'll just do
Yes.
pure maths. And I appreciated it. I mean, I didn't do the best. Actually didn't do really well. But all my other subjects were really good, and that's how I got into the institution.
When you're doing your application now,
Yes.
with engineering, they would have said to us, we want maths, we want physics, and this is the level we want, and so on and so forth. What
Yes.
levels were required at the time? And which subjects were there that were actually put on?
I don't recall that, but I think you had to have A science, and
Okay.
life sciences
Was a science, yes.
So I was like, I'm sorted, I'm great. Knowing how I was performing throughout the year, I knew that I would qualify for this. I didn't even have a doubt in my mind that I would
Yes.
enter into the program. And I remember at the time with somatology, they would also interview you.
Oh,
So it wasn't just that your marks are going to get you into the institution. We also had an interview, almost like an aptitude test, so to speak, to see if you would be suitable for the program. And right now, looking at it, it made sense why they did it. If I look at the amount of people that dropped off
the course.
the course, some
Yes.
people still pursuing something else in health sciences, but so many people that just dropped off. I mean, I think we started off, even just by university standards, I think this was a small intake. granted, the course, you can't take too many people. It's not like
Yes,
engineering where you
yes.
have thousands of students doing it. With somatology, I think we were between 40 and 60.
Okay.
At the
Yeah, that
most.
is a small number
That is
compared
a very
to
small number.
yeah.
And when we graduated, like my year, because I didn't repeat anything, I just all the way.
Record
First year,
time.
in
Record
record time. I
time.
love that. In record time.
Yeah.
Everything was done in record time. And I think we were 20?
When you
just
finished.
under 20.
So you went from 60 to 20.
Just under.
And this is not something that's not common. Is uncommon a word?
Yes.
This is not uncommon.
Happens.
In varsity, where you walk into the lecture hall and the lecture hall is full of people.
People
and
are standing.
And the lecturer just says, "Abanye benu, nizobe ningasekho June."
I don't even need to memorize your name or your student number.
Because you're leaving very soon.
Yeah.
Because you're leaving
move.
very soon.
Yeah,
Okay.
it happens.
Breakaway. So
Yes.
I do breakaways with my guests because I believe that as a teenager we go through relationships at some point in our lives. It doesn't have to be romantic,
Okay.
but I am touching on romantic relationships.
Okay.
Lebo no jola high school.
Sure. Okay. Me personally, ne?
Hey,
Nick is a jolly.
it's a safe space.
Yes, no, it's a safe space, and I want everybody to know. I had my first boyfriend, or the first guy who actually asked me out, or asked me to be his girlfriend.
Yes.
Asked me. I think it was the 13th of. Was it the 13th of February? I think.
Oh,
it
a
was the
day before
13th of
Valentine's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Day before Valentine's Day, and my birthday's on the 19th. So just before I turned 18, first boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Literally, just before.
This is in matric.
This is in matric. Literally in matric. Why would anybody want to date anybody in matric?
So you guys started a whole fresh relationship in matric.
Fresh.
And I always say there's no use in starting a relationship in matric. Did you
I've
find
heard you
it?
say that.
Yes. Did you find it of good use?
Was it of value?
Yeah, was it of value to start a relationship in matric?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, in that you will learn a lot about yourself.
Yes.
And other people.
Yes.
When you get into a relationship, be it a friendship, a romantic relationship, you will learn something about yourself and another person and people in general. Like life will teach you things. Can I say that it has benefited me today? Yeah, in that I've learned things about myself that I still apply today. Mara, does it have any impact on me today? Is the person still around? No.
So it didn't last?
No. I mean, it ended. When did it end? It ended in December of that year. But it was dead before then.
Okay,
actually,
okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't find the point in dating in matric because I feel like a lot of matric relationships or a lot of high school relationships don't make it very far. And I could be wrong because there are some people who say, yo,
I think it depends.
high school sweetheart.
You do get those high school sweethearts who make it work. But if you're still at an age or a stage where you're still figuring yourself out, you're going to change.
Okay.
The chances that you're going to be exactly the same person in matric and then continue. I mean, you guys are not even adults yet.
Yeah.
You haven't even voted yet. You know what I mean?
Speaking of voting,
yeah, you haven't even voted yet. And then you're thinking, this is the one. Look, you could be lucky and it is the one.
We're not saying it's impossible.
Yes, we're not saying
Okay.
it's impossible. Matter the chances that it is going to lead to until. Hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends.
Back to academics. So do you feel as though your background has made it easy for you to be where you are now academically? Because sometimes some people will say, yo, I'm the first person in my family to get a degree. I'm the first person in my family to have this milestone. Do you feel as though your background has made it easy for you to be where you are or to get to where you are?
I don't know if it's made it easy, but it has made it acceptable.
Okay.
For me to get to where I am academically. Both my grandparents, actually all four of my grandparents, have studied further.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And so I'm counting the days where teaching was the only thing
Yes,
you could do.
yes.
Being a
Nursing,
social worker, yes.
policing.
It all counts because
Yeah.
you're not just a matriculant. So if I look at my grandparents on my mom's side, both of them teachers, the one was a principal.
Wow.
If I look at on the other side, my dad's side, my granny was a nurse and did lots of things. And then my grandpa also teaching, became a principal as well. And look, in that instance, I am 100% fortunate because the expectation that I could also study, it's not a fresh new thing.
Yes.
Nobody's going to say, no, you're not going to university. It's encouraged. In terms of the actual masters, I remember my dad was like, you should continue. If you can, why not? And I did. Not now. I mean, this is a few years ago when I attained the qualification. But now there are so many people in my family who have these qualifications, especially women.
Okay.
There are many, many women. I mean, some of them are like, why are you not a professor by now? You've done so much. And not just in one particular sphere of education or your schooling. So, it's the history of education is there. Nobody was going to say, "Ay, Nyakvimba, you're not going anywhere." No. Continue. It's not a weird thing that people are educated in my family, fortunately, and it's on both sides, which I suppose really can guide one. It is. It's
such a blessing.
It's a huge thing, and I think sometimes one would be shy about mentioning it, but it has to be mentioned. It has to be mentioned. Horbona. Like it's a thing normal. If you say we're a PhD, how can we help you? What is it that we can do? So it should be encouraged. I think if everybody was as fortunate as I am, South Africa would be a lot further.
Almost definitely. Yeah. Are you the first person though in your family to have a master's?
No. In my generation at the time, I was.
Okay.
But now I can see more and more cousins and so forth
coming through,
and it excites me. It excites me a lot. It really, really excites me a lot.
Okay, let's talk about job opportunities.
Okay.
It's a common question that I do get. Job opportunities in the field, because as well sometimes we are doing or we're studying further for survival, and sometimes we study further because why not? I don't necessarily need to study further. So we study with different intentions.
Yes.
Haraya UJ, Rilo apply, we're going with different intentions.
Yeah.
So what would you advise someone who wants to go into this field where you are now?
I would say do your research.
Okay.
Do your research and know why you are doing this thing.
Yes.
Somatology is not for everybody.
Yes.
And for me, it really does differ from beauty therapy, because you could say, I want to be a beautician.
Yes.
Right? I know some people will consider somatologists glorified beauticians, but really we're not. Not to bash anybody who has done just beauty therapy or has done a short course on how to do nails, on how to do an Indian head massage. But for somebody who has done somatology, it is literally, there is a science to it.
Yes.
And it is so much work. People think that somatology, no, just a year. It's not just a year. I can have a full-on conversation with a doctor and know exactly what they're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I can look at somebody's gait, so how they're walking, and I can see, that pelvis is misaligned, or that person's shoulder is. I'm not a biokineticist or a chiro, but we're in the same classes.
You're informed.
I'm very well informed when it comes to things like that. You could be looking at me, and just by looking at your face, I can tell,
something is off.
Your sinuses, or this person eats too much meat and stuff, depending on the breakouts that you have and so forth. And that I find is not necessarily taught with beauty therapy.
Yes.
So one needs to
research.
You have to do your research and understand why you're doing it. As I said, right now I work as a trainer for a local skincare brand.
Yes.
But it's not to say that I couldn't then decide, listen, I'm going to study a little bit further, do extra courses, and then go into medical aesthetics. Granted that when I did my BTech, which is like doing an honors,
Yes.
we did do some of these, and they were still new at the time, where we did some medical aesthetic treatments. If I can do that.
remember you guys were so busy.
We were
and you had these
very
big
busy.
cases that you
Listen,
carried around.
listen,
and
yo.
yeah, nenenale uniform, Malebo. You guys,
Bona,
you guys, hey.
ne re le ordentlik. We were ordentlik.
And always on point.
You
Always on
had
point.
to be. You had to be.
Yeah.
You know, with somatology, it's quite interesting. As much as you're learning how to treat people in a certain way,
Yeah.
how to, like the client care, you get marked down if your client care, if it's not
Yes.
proper, you will get marked down.
Customer care.
Customer care. You could fail a whole practical because of customer care. You could fail a practical because you exposed a person's foot instead of covering it completely so that the person feels cocooned. Because if somebody feels cocooned, they relax a lot more, they open up, and then your treatment is more successful.
Oh, that makes sense.
Small little things like that.
Yeah.
Did your dustbin have a bin liner? You could get marked out. It seems silly, but when you are actually in practice mode, you can see the benefit of actually having learned that. And I see with people that have done beauty therapy, or like very short courses,
Yeah.
they don't have that, which is where I can really see and say that being a somatologist sets me apart from the next person. In terms of the careers that are available to somebody who has studied somatology, typically you'd find a somatologist in a skincare salon or
Okay.
a wellness and skincare practice. That's typically where you would find us. But you do get those who would decide, listen, I'm going to go into medical aesthetics, which was previously meant for dermatologists, or let me say dermatologists were the only persons who were qualified to do medical aesthetic treatments. But today you find somatologists that are doing medical aesthetic
I
treatments.
love that.
They're doing
Love it.
chemical peels and like all these hectic things. Some people even go as far as to do fillers and have IV drips in their practices. I mean, you can
Okay.
have your own business.
Yes.
That is the main aim.
Yes.
For me, I'm not expecting you to go and work at a nail bar for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But if doing nails is your passion,
Why not?
that's fantastic.
Why not?
You know, when you look at somatology, for example, a simple thing like a manicure,
Yes.
né? Pushing the nails, cuticles, and all of that. There's so much that you can tell about a person from their nails. So,
Oh my goodness.
let's say you come to me and there are striations on your nails. You
Yes.
know, like some people have ridges on their nails
Yes,
and
I've
it's not
seen that.
smooth.
Yeah.
It's a deficiency of certain minerals in the body. When your half moon, that little white half moon there,
Yes.
if it's too small, it tells you something. If it's very big, it tells you something. So that's science behind a simple thing like, let me just file your nails and paint them. It tells us a lot. If you engage the things, well, keep in mind the things that you've learned in your psychology classes. If
Yes.
somebody has like nails that are not even a centimeter long, for example, that tells you this person has a nervousness problem,
Hey,
anxiety. So you're thinking, no, I'm just going to go do my nails.
Yeah.
But if you have a somatologist, yes, they'll try and sell you stuff to address the challenge.
Obviously.
Right?
Like dermatologists.
Like a
dermatologists are
dermatologist
always trying to
would.
sell us.
There's
skin
no way you're
stuff,
not walking out without a prescription,
Yes.
right? But in terms of how best can I help you address your concern, for you don't realize, you're thinking, no, my mom had the same thing. Mara, no, it doesn't mean that you have to have the same thing as well.
Yes.
A simple thing like, okay, adjust your dietary intake, adjust the supplements that you're taking in as well. That can really change everything, your hair, your skin, and your nails, and you
Yeah.
won't even know it.
Okay. Speaking of, you said that if you're a somatologist, you could choose to branch off, do certain short courses, and so on.
And here and
Yes,
there,
here and
yes.
there. Are there any short courses that you would recommend to someone who maybe just finished their somatology course, or someone who just finished something similar, and they just like, oh my goodness, I'm looking for a short course? Because people also appreciate that as well. I know that.
I think it depends on, if we say there is a short course that you're going to do, what is it in particular that
Okay.
you're wanting to do?
Okay.
So, for example, when we did somatology, we didn't do any courses on acupuncture.
Oh,
You couldn't
okay.
do acupuncture.
Okay.
And if, say, you wanted to do acupuncture, I mean, we did the theory of acupressure, and you do things like Thai massage and things like that in
Yes.
your BTech year at the time. But you would need to go and study acupuncture in particular. And I know UJ does offer complementary medicine now, which encompasses all these treatments that we were not or did not fall within the scope of practice for somatology. So it depends on what it is that you're wanting to do. I mean, we're not doing deep chemical peels in somatology.
So that's a
But
nice one to go
yes,
into as
if
well.
you did want to do that, you can. But in general, in terms of keeping abreast with what's happening, what usually tends to happen is when you do product training, say you're working in a salon, a skincare salon, when somebody says, listen, this is our brand ethos, this is what it is that we do, they will take you for training. So if suddenly the owner of the salon decides, listen, we're going to do dermaplaning and microneedling,
Yes.
something that perhaps you didn't do in your course, you go for that course, they'll give you a certificate, and great,
stunning.
you can do dermaplaning, you can do microneedling.
Stunning.
Normally it's within your work environment that you get exposure to, oh, this is new, that's new. And I mean, now with social media, you can see very quickly when there's something new on the market.
Yes.
So it's very
And the
easy
trends,
to tap into it.
because
Yeah, and
there's
the trends
trends
and
that
so
come
forth.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when we did a course called permanent makeup, we actually had a subject
Called
permanent makeup. And that's where we started to do like permanent eyebrows, microblading.
Yes.
That one was one of my favorites. But now you don't have to study somatology so that you can get to your BTech in order to do that. You could just go and do a course on
microblading. Yeah.
A short, even it doesn't even take a week. Some people it's 3 days, and then there
I've
you go.
seen,
Yeah.
I've
So
seen.
you don't necessarily have to do it through the formal educational channels. It's not necessary.
Beauty, health, and wellness. It's the beauty, health, and wellness industry.
Yes.
And it's growing
It is.
exponentially, and
It
I
is.
really love that, and I encourage people who really want to go into it,
Yeah.
that this is a growing industry, and I don't see it going out of fashion, because the trends keep changing.
The trends keep changing, the things that people want keep
Yeah.
changing and improving, but also it's a matter of access. Things that were exclusive to what J-Lo doing artificial 1-1 eyelashes,
The
with
BBL.
fox hair, the BBL and stuff like.
BBL,
But
yes.
okay, BBL is different,
Okay.
because that is 100% a medical thing. You need to be a plastic surgeon
okay.
and so forth. Mara, a thing like eyelashes, I remember back in the day, I think like these celebrities would do these artificial eyelashes. We used to think that those were their
Yeah.
eyelashes. No, a quick course. I mean, there's so many ways around it. So in terms of accessibility, beauty therapy now and the trends that are happening and people doing short courses makes it such that those things are accessible to me and you.
Yes.
You and I don't have to go and spend $10,000 to do artificial extensions. Number one, you can do a strip lash. Number two, you could go and have somebody do them for you, but it won't cost $10,000, which back then it used to, because but now everybody does it. So accessibility, I think that's one way of making sure that certain aspects of beauty therapy never go out of fashion. But the fact that people are alive and people always will need help, people will always need to find their balance and recenter. People are always going to have skin conditions if you're looking at the food that we're eating today. Matsapake manzi, and literally a somatologist should be able to address and help you with most of your concerns. This is before even going to see a doctor.
Yes.
They are the people that we say, ma'am, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you have such and such a challenge. Dr. So-and-so can assist with that.
Yes.
Because somatologists are those people that help to bridge the gap between somebody who doesn't know that they have a problem, making them realize that there is a problem, offering a solution, and then maybe offering or indicating to them that this is not something that I can help you with. You actually need to go and see a doctor who does 1, 2, 3, because this is beyond my scope of practice.
Do you want to... Okay, before I ask that question, actually.
Yes.
When you were in grade 11, things you wish you knew in grade 11. What did you wish... Hey, grade 11. Grade 11 is an important grade. It's that grade that no one takes seriously.
And it can make or break
And
it.
it can make or break you.
A
I
lot of
remember,
things.
I didn't take grade 11 seriously.
Really?
Yeah, and it broke me.
Yo. I remember the workload was insane. Right now, I can't think really what it is that I wish I knew then that I knew now.
Yeah, that would have helped you actually. Or your grade 11
Okay.
was perfect.
You know what? No, it wasn't perfect. I think academically, take on more extra classes
Okay.
if you can.
In grade 11.
In grade 11,
Stunning.
I would have continued with the sports that I was playing
Okay.
in grade 11, or taken them from grade 11 into grade 12. Because I remember being told, matric is actually so short.
Matric
think
is short.
it's very short. You think it's a whole year, ne? I remember our matric dance was in August.
Yes.
January, I'm like, I still got time.
Yes.
Pa.
So we matric dance.
It's August,
Yeah.
matric dance, which means you've already done your June exams, ne? We're done. Prelims are done. Now, boom. Here we're starting with the real stuff.
Yeah.
By that time, there's no more class. It's just you studying at home, and that's it. School is done. People think, oh no, we're still gonna be school is done. June school is done.
June matric is done.
Bona, you're a school leaving somebody at that time.
Almost
And-
unemployed.
oh yeah, that little space there. But yeah, I think I would have done more social activities, continued with them, because when it gets to matric, when it's like crunch time, you really don't have
Yeah,
much time
you don't have
to
the
do
time
all
for
of that.
that.
And when I look at it, you still need that release from playing all these sports and things like. I mean, at that time I thought, no, just go study. But I was like, I could have continued with hockey. I could have continued with
Yes.
tennis. Could have been the captain.
Releasing stress
I should have
somewhere.
just have a release. Don't sell yourself short. Experience what you can whilst you can.
Oh, Lebu, it was great having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I could get you to come and speak about this industry, because we take it for granted.
We do.
Yeah, we take it for granted, and sometimes we also look down on it, and
Yeah.
we don't realize the importance of people like you in the world. And I'm so happy that you could come through.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Is there
me.
any last words you'd like to say to a teenager out there, to a grade 11 out there, to a matric out there, in terms of the things you wish you knew, or just advice in general?
My advice is, when an opportunity presents itself, take
Ooh.
it.
Yes.
I saw that, or it was really, really emphasized or re-emphasized to me when COVID happened.
Yes.
Because I had all these plans. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I haven't had a chance to do this. And then it's like, whoa. But literally, if an opportunity presents itself, take it. I've learned that being shy doesn't pay the bills.
And you're shy.
I am shy.
Yeah.
I'm confident, but I'm shy.
Okay,
I've
okay.
learned now that I'm an ambivert, which works to my advantage in many instances. But when an opportunity presents itself, take it. If there is a leadership role that presents itself to you, do not turn it down.
Ooh. Okay.
Take it.
Yes.
The exposure that you get from that, can't buy it anyway.
Oh, thank you so much, Lebu.
You're welcome.
That was Malebo Makuza.
Yes.
Malebo Makuza. I went to university with her, and when we met there, I just thought to myself, here's another course that I didn't know about. And I hope that this was very helpful for you. She says to us, do a lot of research. Do as much research as you can. Don't just walk into it blindly. Don't just choose the last course that you're finding on your prospectus, or the university saying, hey, listen, we are full. This is the only course that's there. She says, do all your research. You still have enough time to do your research as well. That is all from us. Thank you so much, Lebo.
Thank you very much for
Thank you
having
for
me.
coming through
It's a
and
pleasure.
in informing us on what's important in terms of your industry.
It's a pleasure.
And that's all from us. Thank you.